Coriander is an easy crop to grow from seed for harvesting both the leaves and seeds. It's widely used in many dishes, especially in Mexican and Asian cuisine. Simply sow seeds outdoors, in the ground or in containers, from spring onwards. Plants are compact, so make ideal gap fillers on the veg plot or even in borders. If growing purely for leaves, consider coriander as a short-term crop and sow small batches every month or so to provide continual leafy harvests from midsummer to early autumn. Each sowing should give you several harvests before the plants start to flower. As coriander is an annual, it will then set seed and die. Plants flower more quickly in hot, dry weather, then stop producing leaves to concentrate on setting seed. If you don't want to harvest the edible flowers or seeds, then remove the flower stems as soon as they appear to prolong the leafy harvests. It's worth leaving a few plants to go to seed though, to provide you with seeds to sow next year, or you can just let some self-seed if you prefer. However, if you mainly want to harvest the seeds, make your sowings in spring or early summer to allow time for the seeds to ripen. Coriander has few problems with pests or diseases, although seedlings and young plants are vulnerable to slugs and snails. Choosing coriander, Coriandrum sativum, is widely available as seed. There are also several varieties that have been bred for longer leafy harvests as they are slower to flower, although you can still harvest edible seeds from these too. When choosing varieties, look for those with an RHS Award of Garden Merit, which shows they performed well in trials. What and where to buy? Coriander seeds are widely available in garden centers and from online retailers. Potted plants may also be available in garden centers and supermarkets. Sowing. It is easiest to sow coriander outdoors where it is to grow, although you can also sow indoors in spring for an earlier crop. From sowing to harvesting your first leaves can take as little as 10 weeks. Sowing indoors. You can get an earlier crop by sowing seeds in a greenhouse or on a sunny windowsill in February or March. Harden off the young plants when they're about 15 centimeters, 6 in, tall, then move them to their outdoor growing site after the last frost. Just beware of slugs and snails, especially in damp weather. You can also keep coriander as a greenhouse crop, in pots, grow bags, or a greenhouse border, rather than transplanting outside. But in summer, the heat would mean it goes to seed too quickly. Growing seedlings to full size in your home, however, is unlikely to be successful, so they are best. Even on the sunniest indoor windowsill, coriander plants will rarely get enough sunlight to grow well for very long. Another option is to harvest indoor sown seedlings after only a few weeks. Sowing outdoors. Sow coriander seeds outdoors from spring to autumn in a cool, sunny, or lightly shaded spot with free-draining soil. You can also sow in pots of multi-purpose. Can refer to either homemade garden compost or potting compost. Coriander grows particularly well in containers, as it likes the free-draining conditions. In summer, cool conditions, shaded from midday sun, will help to deter premature flowering. When a vegetable plant starts flowering and forming seeds, often prematurely, making the crop unusable, salad leaves may turn bitter and root crops fail to swell. Adverse weather or changes in day length can cause bolting in a wide range of vegetables, including lettuces, onions, carrots, and off-the-ear root crops. Bolting. Grow coriander as close to your kitchen as possible for easy pickings whenever you need them. The large seeds are easy to sow. Simply scatter them thinly along shallow drills or on the surface of firmed compost in containers or grow bags. Cover with a little soil or compost, then water gently. Germination takes 1 to 3 weeks. When growing for leaves, sow small batches every 3 or 4 weeks for constant harvests from midsummer onwards. To extend your leaf harvests into early winter, sow batches in autumn under clutches or in a low polythene tunnel or in a greenhouse. Also check out our hydroponic NFT plant growing system, which will help you out in your gardening. Link is given in the description. Planting. If you don't have the time or space to grow from seed, or only want a few plants, you can buy pots of coriander in garden centers and supermarkets. These can be planted outdoors into larger containers or in the ground from spring onwards. Water plants well, both before and after planting. Keep the soil moist, but avoid overwatering as coriander dislikes soggy conditions. At the other extreme, dry conditions can cause coriander to bolt or flower prematurely, so water during spells without rain. Plants in containers dry out much more rapidly than those in the ground, so check the compost regularly and water if it starts to feel dry. Coriander plants don't normally need feeding, but the occasional application of a balanced liquid fertilizer can be used as a pick-me-up if necessary. Weed regularly around coriander plants, so they don't have to compete for sunlight or water. Unless you want to harvest the seeds, remove any flower stems as soon as they start to develop. Otherwise, plants will put all their energy into flowering and setting seed, rather than producing new leaves. Alternatively, add the flowers to salads. Gather ripe coriander seeds at the end of the season, both for the kitchen and for sowing the following year. Harvesting. Coriander leaves, stems, flowers, and seeds are all edible and can be harvested from midsummer onwards. The leaves are best harvested as a cut and come again crop. Take only a few from each plant along the row, then allow them to recover for a few weeks before making another harvest. Start harvesting when plants are 10 to 15 centimeter tall, and you should be able to take several pickings before the plants start to flower. Regular picking encourages more leaves to sprout. Use the leaves fresh or freeze, then add to cooked dishes. Alternatively, you can grow seedlings indoors for harvesting as microgreens or mini leaves when packed with flavor and nutrients. When coriander plants flower, which they inevitably will, either pick the blooms to add to salads or leave them to form seeds. Harvest the seeds when they ripen and turn brown, just before they start to fall. It's usually easiest to cut entire stems and put them in a bag so you don't lose any of the seeds. That was it for today. We hope you liked our video. Also watch our previous video about growing honeydew melon in bag of soil. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. Thank you.